I know I don't like, typically acting too serious on this channel, and it's going to stay that way in the future, I promise you, but this is something I can't really ignore, and it has been bugging me for a couple of weeks now, if not more. And it's on the recent trending movement, hashtag WTFU, where's the fair use? Now, if you don't know, or simply have been living under a rock in the YouTube community, hashtag WTFU is where the fair use, where it's essentially a movement that is trying to hold YouTube accountable for the DMCA abuse that is happening in the community, and that is being taken advantage of by different corporations, specifically Hollywood. Now, before I go any further, I should probably just say real quick what fair use actually is. Fair use is the exempt from copyright that allows different content creators to grab other pieces of content, and as long as it's being used, whether it's being critiqued, reviewed, used for educational purposes, it falls under fair use, essentially meaning that they're allowed to use it legally. This is something that affects me also. Fair use allows me to grab other pieces of content and react to it, to give entertainment, to comment on it, to critique it as I please. It also allows other YouTube channels such as Leafy's here, Pyrocynical, CinemaSins to grab other pieces of content, critique or comment on it because it is transformative. Now, there is, of course, the sort of other side of fair use, which as long as it is using non-essential parts, and this is more so for simply if you're not using it to comment, critique, or whatever, if you're using non-essential parts of a piece, say it's a movie or a song, it also falls under fair use. Crash Course explained this effectively when they explained their analogy with the Mongoltage that they use in their videos. And this more falls under remixes, if you're using the piece to make it transformative, that also falls under fair use. Now, what constitutes as transformative oftentimes comes down to the courts and what they decide. I actually did an essay on this about last semester in my media theory class. I was discussing remix culture and how it coincides with copyright and fair use. As an electronic musician, we have been fighting this battle for a long time, and it's been a losing one where, especially on platforms like SoundCloud, you will have a bunch of remixes taken down even though it may fall under fair use technically as it is transformative, but it is also using essential parts. Now, essentially, this has created categories for remixes related to electronic music. There is the remix, which is when you have explicit consent from an artist to use, say, a vocal or a melody. Mainly this falls under, usually the way to get this is by paying them, or if you're lucky, asking them. If you don't have permission, then it falls under bootleg. And a bootleg, as it sounds, is when you don't have the permission for it, or simply just grab it and throw it in there, but it is still transformative regardless. An edit is simply when there's only little minor changes in a track, whether it's a tempo change, or a slight melody change, or a slight bass change in a song. However, if you're seeing this video now, I'm assuming you've seen the other videos that have covered this topic as well, whether it's Boogie2988, Channel Awesome, or even Monday and Matt. You'll find that on those channels they explain fair use and the DMCA abuse really well. And I'm not going to go into the super details of it because I know that they can cover it better than I can, and I know that they did. I'm simply giving my reaction as to how atrocious the environment of YouTube is becoming for both content creators and even audiences. And coming from an electronic musician standpoint, I know how it is to deal with fair use. I know plenty of people that have had to deal with copyright claims, not just on YouTube, but on different platforms as well. Oftentimes this is abuse from major corporations. This isn't just an abuse from YouTube. This is not individual to that platform. It is spread across so many platforms that many people haven't realized yet. SoundCloud has to be one of the largest hubs for music and for musicians to come together and share their projects, share their music, share whatever they want to, and it's also being smashed to bits. And I am glad that the YouTube audience is waking up when they are, because they might actually be able to go ahead and demand that this be changed, that YouTube become a much fairer platform. And I've seen this transpire time and time again with some of my favorite channels. Sargon of Akkad recently got one of his videos taken down from the Oxford Union Society, aka the last bastion of free speech, which is terribly ironic. They eventually took down his video that was a critique on Kate Brooks, I believe, and he is now not able to do his This Week in Stupid show regularly, as he has to split it into 2 parts because he can't make a video over 15 minutes. And I believe he only used maybe 60 seconds of a clip to essentially critique, and even then, the brutal irony in this entire situation with Sargon and the Oxford Union Society is it's almost laughable. The last bastion of free speech, taking away a video of someone critiquing one of the people that is, speaking on their platform. And another channel, Alternate History Hub, that has to be one of my favorite channels currently, as not only are each scenario that he sort of does is extremely creative in how he portrays it, but he even does the, animations himself as well. And I don't know why, but essentially his channel was demonetized for a bunch of his videos. I don't think that YouTube or anyone that does these stupid ass claims realize that these people make a living off of their content. Fucking Sargon of Akkad has a kid that he has to support. Sure, he has a Patreon, which does fairly well, but he also has his YouTube career. And it boggles my mind that people can't be considerate when, doing this, when they're essentially abusing a system. But whatever, I guess, gets them paid. In some of the extreme cases, like I Hate Everything and Channel Awesome, were able to attract mainstream attention from the YouTube community to actually get their channels back. I Hate Everything legitimately had his channel deleted for, I think, a stupid goddamn claim made by some bad director that made some bad movie that I'm not going to bother mentioning. But really, if this behavior from the DMCA abuse continues, I fear where YouTube will go next. I don't want to see it turn into another platform like SoundCloud, where it is completely broken with copyright strikes, where you have content creators and artists who are afraid of uploading to it for fear of having their channel taken down, or having simply their video taken down, for having their livelihoods destroyed because of a goddamn troll from a DMCA or from a fucking money-grabbing corporation trying to reclaim their content even though it falls under fair use. Where is the fucking justice in that? Where is the commitment to your content creators, YouTube? This is to you. Please listen to us. Find a way to fix this problem so that content creators can be free, so we are not living an Orwellian nightmare on YouTube, so we can have freedom of speech, so we can do away with the censorship of criticisms, of reviews, of simple fucking commentaries. It isn't this hard. Show your commitment to your content creators by upholding the values of fair use, so we don't have to be afraid anymore. Please, YouTube, this is an outcry from your entire community. You have the power for this. And if you don't, you will literally be ruining people's lives. People who are simple content creators and who are following the guidelines of fair use, and who have always followed the guidelines of fair use, and the only reason that their life was destroyed was because of a money-grabbing corporation that sought to get a slight amount of profit from a YouTube video. And whoever might be listening to this, please support the hashtag WTFU, and also support Mundane Matt's Thunderclap campaign with over 7,000 signatures and 4 million in social reach. Supporting this campaign will hopefully send YouTube the message that we will not stand idly to the DMCA abuse, that if YouTube wants to stay the #1 video service in the world, that they will have to treat their content creators with proper dignity and respect, so the content creators can go ahead their merry way and continue making fantastic entertainment for all of us that love to watch it. Please, listen to us, YouTube.